The survivors and victims of the September 11th attacks believe Saudi Arabia was behind it, and they are suing to prove it. Now they might get help from an unlikely source, suspected mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. In the lawsuit, lawyers asked to speak to Mohammed, and he made a surprising response, seeming to offer to cooperate against Saudi with a condition: remove the possibility of a death sentence, writing, "In the absence of a potential death sentence, much broader cooperation would be possible." The president, who often sides with Saudi, could face pressure this time to make the deal.
It could virtually bankrupt Saudi Arabia. All their assets in the United States and elsewhere could be seized. So the incentive for Mr. Trump, as opposed to others, to waive is not very great. But still, it may be in the year 2020 that the United States population in general is not going to be sympathetic to Mr. Trump running and seeking their vote if it looks like he's taking the side of Saudi Arabia over the victims of 9/11.
And on the Senate floor Monday,
to Saudi Arabia, a source of extremism and bloodshed in the world?
A clear indication that the country's relationship with the United States is strained. Senators citing the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi as one reason, the war in Yemen another.
By now, we are well acquainted with what has been at best the incompetent and at worst criminal actions of Saudi Arabia's airstrikes in Yemen. All evidence suggests that the Saudis have intentionally targeted hospitals, bridges, power stations, apartment buildings, weddings, schools, and yes, even a school bus filled with children.
His plea to senators: override a presidential veto and stop an $8 billion arms deal with Saudi. It failed to get the votes needed.
The bill on reconsideration fails to pass over the veto of the President of the United States.
But the pressure on Saudi continues in the U.S. House of Representatives. A committee has released a report on ties between the Trump administration and Saudi and the United Arab Emirates. The investigation focuses on attempts by Saudi to obtain nuclear technology. According to congressional investigators, the relationship was so close that when candidate Trump was scheduled to give a major energy speech, his close friend Tom Barrack circulated the draft among Emirati and Saudi officials and then passed suggestions back to Mr. Barrack, who conveyed them to Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort. The House says it will continue to investigate the relationship, and the Senate says it will continue to try and block the arms sales, meaning regardless of what the president wants, Saudi Arabia will likely stay in the U.S. headlines for the foreseeable future. Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.